ever done a workout where maybe you've done it before and it wasn't that hard, and then all of a sudden it is? Or you look at a workout, looks like it shouldn't be hard, and then you get into the workout and then it's really, really hard? That's kind of normal. And our brains are predicting machines. They're consistently making predictions so that we aren't surprised. But oftentimes we can make improper predictions and it can get us into a little bit of trouble and can create more stress than is necessary. There's a concept that we talk about here in the misappropriation of energy. And when I misappropriate energy, what I end up doing is I lie, I hide, I pretend, or I deny the situation in front of me. Not because I'm a bad person, but because I'm trying to keep myself safe in this situation. I'm trying to feel capable. I'm trying not to feel weak. I feel like I should be somewhere that I'm not. But in any of those situations, what's happening is that we are not acknowledging reality. And being able to acknowledge reality, what we do is we say, I am going to put forth an effort of 7. That is what is being asked of me. And I am going to meet that effort of 7 with my breath. But what can happen sometimes is that we can get into this state of panic. And what happens in this panic is that we don't want to acknowledge that maybe this is hard, or we're working out with other people. And so we are down here breathing at a 4. We're like trying to stay nose, or opening zones of nose, mouth, when really we're training and we're taking our body in this effort of 9. And so there's this space in the in-between that is very confusing to the body. Now, we have like a 2-hour podcast where we talk about this. It is called The Cost of Control. You can find it in the podcast section. So go listen to that and you'll hear us talk a lot more about this. In this, we have this space where the body and the breath are not matching. Our state and our action are not matched. And so there's this place of confusion that can start to feel very panicky, or we begin to feel very anxious in the body. And it's because we don't want to bring the breath up here to a 9, or we don't want to bring this effort back down to a 4. But either way, we're trying to deny that this is this hard. And that breath might be loud. It might sound like something. You might take up space. People might know that you're there. And oftentimes we don't want to do that. And if I bring this up here to that level, I'm going to feel all of this. And so sometimes we like jump out of our bodies and we numb ourselves through a workout, but then we also panic ourselves through this workout. But then what we can also do is that we can also pretend like we're working harder than we actually are. Or we're trying to breathe in a specific way, but we're not bringing our effort up to that level. And so what can end up happening is that we're over breathing. So maybe now we're breathing at an 8, but our effort is only really about a 5. And so there's, again, this space of confusion in the body that we are not moving and breathing in the same space. And now what's going to happen in this, whether it feel lightheaded in that, wow, I'm over breathing, so I either need to bring my breath to where my body's at, or I need to bring my body to where my breath's at, or I'm feeling panicky, so either I need to bring my breath up to where my body is, or I need to bring my body back down to my breath. And any way that we do this, right? So if this is happening, this is going to be really loud in your head. This is also going to be really loud. Now, if we come into this space and we are state, action, breath, movement matched, it's going to be quiet, but that does not equate to it not being hard. Okay? I want you to hear that. In connecting your body and your breath, your state and your action, all this does is it quiets what's going on in our heads so we can be inside of our body, so we can stop trying to run away, so we can stop trying to numb ourselves, so we can stop trying to be so hyper vigilant in a workout or numb ourselves out while we're training and then never really be where we are. And so then we lose this connection between our full selves. But right here, We are locked in and it's quiet, but it's still challenging, it's still hard, but we're acknowledging that reality instead of trying to pretend that reality is different than it actually is. And we love to do that while we train. That's what we want to help you not do, so that when you go out there, you can engage with what's out there with all of you at the level that is appropriate. Because if we're responding more than we need to, our hormones are also responding more than we need to, which means there's more getting dumped into the system, which means it's going to take longer to come down, and it will take even longer to come back to a place of homeostasis. If we are under responding, the body still has to bring in the hormones to respond to the situation, and then it has to come back down and again find homeostasis. But when I take a situation and I respond to it appropriately, even if it's a 7, my hormones respond with a 7. My brain responds with a 7. My body responds with a 7. My breath responds with a 7. I'm appropriately responding so I can appropriately recover. I can appropriately come down back to a place of homeostasis. And so the body does not have to do so much work. This is a great opportunity for you to practice the appropriate response while you're training so that you can have appropriate responses in life.